Right, so in this video we're going to look at how we could structure our application using components. So when you're building out a React app or a SolidJS app in this case, what we tend to do is we tend to try and break things down into reusable components and then build our pages back up and our application back up from those components. We try to use things where we can give them just one simple job to do, and then we can use them in different places within the application. So this is going to be a little bit of a contrived example because this is just a one page. We've just got the app. It's just to show you how to work it, but it's just to give you an idea of the sort of the thought process on how we split our applications down. So I'm just going to get rid of this for now, just because we don't need this for now, and we'll look at signals in a second. So we can get rid of that, and we can get rid of this. So here, as you can see, we have this function app, and at the bottom we export app by default. So this just exports this app function as the default export from here. So when we import it into here, we can call this anything we want. We call it app because we tend to want to know whether it's come from the app component, but it could be anything. So what I tend to do is I tend to actually change this, and I name my exports. So we would have export the function app instead of exporting it as a default export from the page. This just means that when you bring it in here, you have to actually say when I'm importing it in here, I'm actually want the app function from the app module. Okay, so this should still be working, and yeah, it seems to do that. I don't know why, but it gives you two. But there we are. We now have one. Okay, so this is our first component, the app component, which we're importing into here, and then we're rendering out at the root. But what we're going to do in this little contrived example is we're going to create another component just to show the workflow. And we're going to use this. So this is just it's going to be the same, but it's just that we're going to move this code into its own file. So first of all, got a new, actually we won't do that, we'll do a new folder called components, and inside components we'll do a new file, and we'll call this, I think this could be called the hero section, so let's do that. JSX. So quick copy and paste. So we're actually down, I think. So what we want to do is we just change the import on the solid logo. The Vite logo is actually in the public directory, so that's why it's just got the /, but the solid one is in the assets folder. So we have to have our relative path here, so we're coming out of components and into assets. That's why we've got the double dots. We will call this hero section. Now when I'm creating my own, I tend to use the arrow function syntax and do that. Can then get rid of those. Now we've got these JSX fragments here. So what happens is when you're creating a component in JSX, it can only return one component, one main tag that wraps them. So previously we had 3 tags. We had a div tag here, a h1, and then the p tag. We can't export these as 3 separate tags all in one go. So what we do is we have what's called a JSX fragment when this is rendered, this just disappears, but it just helps or works with the compiler so that it doesn't break. So that's what these little things are here that look like HTML tags without anything in them. Okay, so we're going to remove those, and now we can remove. Now we've only got the div tag to export, so we can actually get rid of the fragments. So this is our hero section. So in our app JSX, we can remove that, and we can, if we type in hero, we actually get it with the path to the hero section. I can click on that and you can see that it imports it here for me. So hero section as a named export in the components folder in the hero section file. So we do that, we close the tag like you would do in HTML, and then we go back to here and we'll just refresh just to make sure, and there we are, all working.